Hi, BenDeLaCreme, how are you?
I'm well, Mr. Furcus, thank you so much.
You know what, can you do me a favor? Can you just come down to the studio?
What? Oh, well, I don't know, there's like a whole, did you hear about this,
Yeah, it's a hoax.
traffic?
Come on down.
Okay, great, be right there.
Hi, it's me, Trixie Mattel, and welcome back to The Pit Stop, the show where we recap RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13. Today we're on episode 11, and in the studio we have, first of all, a real person. Second of all, probably one of the most gifted drag performers on the planet of all time, and one of the most decorated Drag Race contestants I've ever seen. BenDeLaCreme!
Well, Trixie Mattel, what an intro, thank you.
It's true.
So much. I'm so grateful that the internet has come for you so hard about your successes that you have to say all those things about me, thank you.
Well, thank you. I have to say, you moved to LA.
I moved to LA right in time to never leave the house. You're the first person I've seen, other than my gay lover.
That's bleak.
But I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm very grateful that this is my first interaction because the stakes are really low.
You're the first person who's actually come to the studio, so you've already done more than all these assholes on Zoom.
Well, and this is the first time I've been in drag from the hips down in a very long time.
And
So,
can you believe it? All our costumes still fit after quarantine. Thank you.
thank you, Stretch Fabrics.
Thank you, Stretch Fabrics. Brief interactions, done. How is LA life treating you? Done. Okay, before we talk about the episode, this is your Pit Stop debut, and I have to ask you, your exit in All Stars 3 is one of the most memorable moments in the entire series. How does it feel like now to have created that moment?
I love that you had to read that off a card.
Like I wasn't there.
You didn't.
Well, I used to read the cards, but now I just show up and get surprised. I'm like, oh,
That's fun. That's fun for us. You know, you get on there and you show what you got. And it's kind of the best reel in the biz, right? So it's like all these girls who are on the new season, I mean, no matter what season you're on, it's like if you get on there and you show the world what you have to offer, that to me is the best situation. And you can win or not win, you know. I mean, you can win and not have shown your best work. But a lot of the time, you know, there's...
go on. I'm just gonna sit here. I don't even think we've talked about it before. I gotta tell you.
Have we not?
Not on camera. It was so incredible because A, I was watching a real life TV like moment. This is a moment and like people are gonna gag.
Somebody described it as like a move against the reality TV format that was perfectly formulated for reality TV. And I was like, I think that is exactly what it was.
It was crazy. Kennedy cried. Shangela ran backstage like she wasn't the father. I could literally talk about that season with you forever. But we have to move on to these people's moments. Okay, so we've made it to episode 11, and last week, Simone and Utica both won the Makeover Challenge and Denali sashayed away. Who from our All-Star 3 cast would you have wanted to be partnered with during this kind of makeover challenge? You have to wear their drag and put them in your drag.
Oh, well, it's gotta be Simone, right? I mean, she's so brilliant. I wanna
No,
be...
from our season.
Oh, from
All-Stars
our
3.
season?
She wasn't on All-Stars 3.
Wait, really? I barely remember the whole thing. I don't know. I mean, you're honestly the natural go-to. I feel like we'd look good in each other's stuff.
You do have a lot of where I'm like, oh, if you die.
Well, I lent you that one dress.
That's right.
I left you a dress on set of All Stars and I like pinned a thing to it and I was like a little note that was like, you know, if this helps you along your way, then you never wore it on the show and then you wore it on And
I had to have
I think I texted you and I was like, that's not what that was for.
You know why? I left the set of Drag Race and had to go do next day, like same suitcases.
Whose fault is that?
It's my fault. I had to have it taken in, of course.
You know, and who else I feel like that about is Manila. I find her so inspiring as far as her style in terms of like that, like always camp, always fashion.
Yes.
Wait, who would you have wanted to make over?
Oh my God, who would I have wanted to, well, that's two different questions. Whose drag would I want to wear and who do I want to make over?
Yes. Oh, no, I don't want to wear your drag. Sorry, let me clarify that.
So when the queens get back to the workroom, they reflect on that infamous question that they had to answer. Who should go home and why? Most of them picked Olivia, who seems unbothered.
Well, good, because she's still there.
Exactly. It was actually really refreshing to have a queen not be like, F everyone. She was just like, Okay, well, you had to say some name.
Right, and also it's like, great, go ahead, underestimate me some more. That's like, I'll keep flying under the radar and being amazing, you know? Like,
that's what I do.
Who's it hurt? Exactly.
Fly under the radar, never
Everyone's
succeed.
radar, the judges, Ruse.
America, my boyfriend, everyone. I want to get your thoughts on that question because during season 6, you had a tense moment with Bianca Del Rio on the main stage. During that, even though you said Darian's name. Do you recall that?
That moment where I said, oh, right, yes, I said she was sailing through and she thought that was like a horrific insult.
That's right.
Where my only intention was just like, she's good at this. I was like, she's not having trouble in the way that we are, and she was incensed. She was so mad. We've talked about it since. Bianca, we're good.
She blocked you.
Yeah, but like in real life, IRL.
So Candy also notes that she has yet to win a challenge. In your opinion, how important are track records at this point in the competition?
They're important because all the other queens are kind of have their eyes on it, right? And that's like influencing how we're moving forward. But the reality is that at this stage in the game, honestly, anybody can still do anything. We still are in the part of the game where like the last minute, like underdog, like could still pop in at any moment. Anyone can swoop in at the end.
You started both seasons of Drag Race with a win?
Yes.
And on All Stars, I believe you started with a mini challenge and a maxi win, and then you went on to win the next week?
Yes.
And the next week?
Yes.
And then you skipped a week to let us all have a moment?
Yeah, well, I was a soup can.
Or no, you won 4 in a row. And then you took 1 week off and then won another.
Yes.
Relatable content.
Yeah.
So during All Stars, when you were constantly in the top, was there ever a fear or pressure of even falling into the bottom?
Oh, of course, there always is. You never know what's gonna happen. I mean, I think the reason I was constantly doing so well was that panic that drives you.
Right.
Because you know that at any second, anything could change. So, you know, you continue to just like have laser focus.
The next day, the queens compete in a trivia-based mini challenge called Are You Smarter Than the Pit Crew? Which is kind of rude.
Offensive.
I was like,
hunks can be smart too. Strapping redheads can be smart. I was disappointed that we didn't just get to watch drag queens like frantically flail.
I thought it was gonna be like Drop Dead Gorgeous when they're like, name every US state in alphabetical order. Yeah. I wanted that. I wanted Candy to be like, New York, and that's it.
Oh, Candy did struggle with that hot dog. So I'm glad that we got to see like a little challenge there.
I liked it. Did you know a lot of those? Like the Alyssa one?
I knew most of them.
Alexis one?
Yeah.
I think I knew all of them too. Are you good with math?
Oh, absolutely not. I went to art school. I went to 3 years. I was gonna get my BFA and then I had put off all the math requirements, so I dropped out before I had to do them. I was just like, I learned about art. Who needs math? Turns out you don't need it.
Relatable content.
Yeah.
If we were still balancing checkbooks, it'd be over.
Oh, thank God that ended.
Did you do it? You had a checkbook?
I did when I was first like starting out as a human. I mean, I didn't do it. I
That's
did
what
it
I'm saying.
3 times.
You knew how much money you had?
Oh, no, I didn't know.
You just
I had to become a famous drag queen because I just needed to know there was money in the bank account.
I have like visions of my mom doing that and I'm just like, ugh, I'm not doing that. Candy Muse wins the mini challenge. Congrats, Candy. Yay.
Oh, she just can't impress the judges.
Didn't she say 25,000? And they were like, that's 2,500.
Yeah, no, she didn't see that, and this is fine. I'm right there with her. If she had to balance a checkbook, she'd be sunk too. Commas are hard. Punctuation is hard.
And then they put it in hot dogs and she was like, yeah, duh.
And then it made sense.
Thank you for getting on my level.
Yeah.
So Ru announces that for the Maxi Challenge, it's branding week, and this season the queens have to brand their own soft drink and then create a commercial for it.
I was jealous.
You were?
I love doing things like a commercial.
Yeah.
Like conceptualizing, and then like, you know, you get to like, it's writing a little movie.
Well, can I ask you, what do you think the key is to winning this type of challenge?
Just being good. You have to be good.
There you go. She explained it very
good
clearly.
You have to be able to envision something from the beginning. You saw like, you know, Gottmik really struggled. I think she just had a real issue at the beginning when she was conceptualizing, trying to really imagine the finished product, right? Whereas like, you know, some of the other queens, I mean, Simone certainly, like she just knew what the finished product was.
You have to have seen a few heavy-handed late-night commercials in your life.
It's true.
To understand like the dumb call now and you get 2 kind of energy. I will say I was having flashbacks because we had to brand soup cans in All Stars, and it was part of our ball. Do you have any memories of that stick out?
I have repressed a lot of it, but this is what made me so jealous about this, right? They get to make a commercial, they get to like create a brand, make a commercial, it's theater. We had to wear a barrel and suspenders like a poor mouse from a cartoon in the 40s.
Yes, we did. I will never forget you, Kennedy, me, Shangela, BB, standing there.
Oh, BB's peanut soup.
BB's.
Oh, you could not stop talking about that peanut soup.
I just felt like I was in a Twilight Zone episode where everyone was making a parody of a soup, and she was like, well, this recipe's never gonna work. We have to bring the heat up so that the vegetables soften. I'm like, we're not cooking. I'll never forget that soup thing. Sometimes I have memories of that. I'm just like, what was that?
Yeah, no, it comes to me, I like lurch straight upright in bed, just screaming.
And I remember it was the first time on Drag Race, period, I'd won a challenge. And people were like, yeah, but what was it? I'm like, I don't know.
And there was a Mad Libs.
BB was in the top for that soup.
She was?
BB won the challenge with me. Ah! I can't breathe!
Bless your heart.
I can't breathe. That was crazy.
I love that you remember everything else, but you do not remember that the two of you won.
Off the top of your head, what do you think you would have done with your soda can for this challenge?
Oh my goodness. You first.
Wouldn't it be funny to keep making something that you're swearing to God isn't alcohol, and then finally like, all right, it's booze. It's like the whole thing, you're like, it's an alternative to alcohol. It's just like wine, but it's wine. You're sort of good at everything. Soup can could have been a drink, could have been a soft drink.
I think so too. I mean, I was thinking about that when we were watching it. I was just thinking like, all of our soups just could be beverages.
Yeah. We see the queen scripting and storyboarding and preparing for their commercial, and I just have to stop right here. We're talking about mounting a production. The Jinx and DeLa holiday special.
Yeah, thank you.
Watch the Jinx, I don't care that it's spring. Watch the Jinx and DeLa holiday special. It is so good.
Thank you.
Can you make me one for every holiday?
I think I'm gonna have to.
You have to.
I know, I need to get started.
It's so good. And you know what else I love about it? Most diverse cast I've probably seen in anything. And on top of that, the credits list is not that long, which means you can track the success of this great project to like a few dozen people.
We had such an incredible group of people, and so many of the people in that cast are people that I've worked with for like a decade. So it really was, I mean, the whole show's about family.
Right.
And it really is, like, those are the people I've spent the holidays with.
It was just so good. It was so amazing. Please, can you make one for my birthday? Great. We also see reigning winner and my Milwaukee sister, Jaida Essence Hall here. She drops by the workroom to give advice. Do you think hearing from a previous season's winner can benefit the queens at this point in the challenge?
Hearing from someone who's been through the experience and can just say like, hey, I know it's hard, you're doing great, keep going, you know, I think that that is so valuable. But of course, it coming from a past winner, knowing that that past winner also, you know, knows what it's like to go through it and that it is difficult, I mean, like, that's huge.
I think, honestly, that's why all Drag Race queens do have some kind of common thread, because even when we have nothing in common, we all had an experience that only we understand.
Yeah.
Let's get into these commercials, okay? Which stood out to you as the strongest?
Oh, well, Simone, I'm trying my hardest. There are so many talented queens, but come on, Simone is just brilliant.
Yeah.
So funny, she hit the nail on the head.
She really did.
It was so funny, but she is branding perfectly. She wrote that line that I was talking about where, are you making a comedy sketch or are you making a legit commercial? And she did both, and she did both beautifully.
Which commercial did you think was the weakest?
Listen, I gave up $100,000 so I wouldn't have to say somebody.
Oh, come on. Okay, if you were a director, who would you have given more direction to, more help?
I would have wanted to help Utica. I really adore Utica. I really do think that she is brilliant, but I do feel like she got a little lost, right? I mean, I think like if I got to step in, if I got to be a guest directrix.
It could happen.
It could happen. Waiting for the call. I really would have loved to give Utica, Gottmik, and Olivia
A little extra help.
A little help.
I have to say, I knew Utica's was not working, but it did crack my up.
Yeah.
Her laying on the ground, and that like Florence Welch wig, drinking from an udder while the pit crew pretended to feed the drink to the cow.
The can licking got me. I loved the can licking.
It was crazy, but I was in my dressing room scream laughing at that. If you had to pick one of the drinks to actually drink, which one would you drink?
Simone's. I'm sorry, she's my answer to everything. I'm sorry it's so dull. Should we go home?
I would think the rosé because of hangovers.
She was very funny.
I think this is probably one of her best performances.
I think so too. I mean, I think she's so skilled and so talented, but this, she just let it rip. And it was so, at the risk of sounding like Michelle Visage while looking like her, I just felt like I finally saw the real rosé, you know, like at her full potential.
Now that Michelle has a gray streak, are you gonna go down that road?
I wanna go kind of mad scientist with my boy look.
I think you're there.
Thank you.
I think you've been there.
Thank you.
What did you think of Tina's commercial? Miss Tinta.
I thought that Tina's was great, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's when you've got such hot competition, when you've got these queens who are just excelling so hard, you know, it's tough to live up to.
I have to say, I know that I on Tina every single week for her outfits. I thought that her performance was not bad. Gottmik was worse.
Yeah.
And Olivia was worse. With Tina, it's like we've seen her get, I think, a lot of criticism for the looks, but the performances are never really bad. And today it was like, well, yeah, if this is Tina's worst performance this season, this is great. It's runway time, and category is Beast Couture. Let's go through the looks. Utica.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Utica's was beautiful.
Beautiful.
She's always stunning. I mean, she's usually stunning.
Thank you.
She went for fashion, and that's not what the judges were looking for this week, but
yeah,
it's gorgeous.
I thought this was such a beautiful look. The several horns and her white contacts, I thought she looked so spooky and cool. I really liked this runway.
Yeah, this was a great runway, right? I mean, that's the thing too. It's like somebody's gotta be in the bottom, and everyone looked great.
What did you think of Candy Muse?
I don't understand why they didn't think that was an interpretation of the runway.
Did you like it?
Well, I didn't like it, but I didn't think that it wasn't, I mean, I saw what she was doing.
Is an alien a beast?
But, sure.
Sorry, is an extraterrestrial alien a beast?
I don't, I mean, I'm not a zoologist, but I think so.
I think that the alien, the conversation isn't the alien a beast? It's, was this a good look? And I don't think it was.
It wasn't a good look. I mean,
watching her walk to the back of the stage safe was like a joke to me.
Well,
I was like, this is awful.
Yeah, but they love Candy. They love what she's serving. You know what I mean? I mean,
we like her as a human person.
Yes.
But the look was chopped.com.
Yes. I don't, there's nothing else to say about it.
Well, what did you think of Tina Burners?
I loved it. I thought it was great. You know, I mean, I see why you would get her up there next to Simone and like have a conversation comparing the two. I liked that she didn't feel like the need to make it like a really snatched drag look. She just like went for it. She was just like,
I hated the makeup.
Yeah, the makeup was
the
great.
Giant dangling lash. I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
You know, I would never do that. I didn't hate the look. I just was like, with the makeup, it was like, oh, you weren't really sure what you were doing today. Why wasn't that a bear or something?
Yeah.
Simone. You have the floor.
Oh, Simone, return my DMs. That's like what furries are like going for, right? Like the ultimate, like the real blend of full on woodland critter and Jessica Rabbit. Like
it was
sex
like almost Disneyland level, like.
It was gorgeous.
Have you ever done a look like that? Like,
no, but I'm a furry now.
Well,
just now.
I bet you Simone's gonna get booked for furry events now.
Oh my God.
I hope so.
That's a dream. That's the dream.
With your sweating though, that outfit.
Good point.
You will do the gig as long as it's literally booked in the winter in like Alaska.
And if I don't have to wear makeup.
Yes.
Well, I would just do the full head.
Oh, and then send someone else. Is it Dela? We don't know.
Exactly.
So what did you think of Gottmik? Miss Gottmik.
Oh, I loved it. I like the way that she plays with scale, right? Like she did the same thing with her little black dress. The dress is a dress, the face is a beast, but she's doing something really unexpected with how it relates to her body going down the runway. And that, I think, is just like really smart and interesting and a cool take on it that nobody else is, you know, we're not seeing other people do that.
Yeah, it really worked in her favor that no one else interpreted this runway that way. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh,
what's brilliant about Gottmik is that she has these like really smart creative ideas that they don't look labored.
Right.
It doesn't look like she's really like painstakingly like agonized over something, but nobody else is thinking of it.
It was just really sculptured, and it was like she could have stepped out of it and it still had shape.
Oh yeah, it was just a big soft sculpture.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was really cool, and her makeup looked, as usual,
Always.
perfect.
Always.
Yeah. Olivia Lux.
I think the look is fun. It feels like, it feels similar to what a lot of the girls did, but it's Olivia vibe, right? Like it feels fun and youthful and Lisa Frank.
Yes.
I love it.
Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc.
I thought it was great, and she's so beautiful. I could watch her tumble downstairs and be picking up her teeth that broke out, and I would be like, Queen!
They were so focused this week on like how her smile is working against her, and no.
I hope next week she walks the runway like this. And finally, Rosé.
She looked great.
I mean,
she looks amazing.
I love her runways, and today, I mean, matching the makeup exactly with the fur, that was amazing.
It's so hard, and you don't know how it's gonna read under that runway light. She's that queen who would have looked at it under every
Tested
light.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's that queen. I like that about her.
Who was your favorite on the runway?
I'm sorry.
Just say Simone.
Can I just...
You don't have to be partial or impartial at all. You
Simone,
like.
It was so gorgeous. I just like that figure. She's doing that just exaggerated cartoon. I mean, you know, that like I want drag to look like a living cartoon. Like that's what I want. This was so perfectly executed. Those hip proportions, that hip to waist was like so exaggerated, but looked so perfect.
Yeah, she didn't look bow-legged. You know, when you pad that much on the outside, you can sometimes your legs look like they go in.
I am telling Alaska you said that.
Her body's the most upsetting because...
Oh, I love it.
But there's no corset. That's her real waist. That's the kicker. She just pads. That's her real waist a lot of the time. Crimes. She's going to jail. I know. Who is the worst? Now remember, whoever you say you don't like their outfit, it does mean you hate them as a person. Go on.
Okay, but here's the thing, is that I actually can't, I know that there were ones that I didn't like, but I don't remember them. I mean, I guess that I would say that Utica was gorgeous, but felt the most like it didn't, it's not even that she misinterpreted the assignment, it's that like, it's not how the assignment shaked out.
Right.
Shaked? Shook.
Shooketh.
Shock.
Can you give me a tongue pop in the...
Wait.
1, 2, 3. My favorite was Rosé.
Okay.
That red was everything.
Yeah.
My least favorite, I will say Tina, if you just had done some kind of makeup to go with the bear thing. Like Kim Chi 3 Halloweens ago did a bear with a button as an eye sewn on. Do something like that. After the judges' critiques, we find out, shockingly, there are 2 winners, Simone and Rosé. Do you agree?
I agree.
They each won $5,000.
On season 6, on my original season, when I won Miss Congeniality, I got a gift certificate to Overstock.com.
This is Simone's 4th win.
Ugh.
Do you think the other queens are starting to feel threatened?
If they didn't already feel threatened, then I don't know what show they're on.
You should have felt it when she walked in.
Oh, seriously, from the get-go.
Yeah.
From the get-go.
In the bottom, we have Tina and Utica. Do you agree with the bottom 2?
No, I don't think Utica should have been in the bottom. I don't think Tina should have been in the bottom. Okay, let's be real. I think it probably should have been Gottmik and Olivia, right?
I think so
too.
too.
And I adore them both. They were the weakest this week.
Yeah, I just thought Tina, this was not her bottom week because that performance wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, Tina and Utica lip sync to the classic My Humps by Black Eyed Peas. What did you think of this lip sync?
You know, I did a number to that once. When it first came out, it was Halloween and I dressed as the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Interesting. Don't use that. Say it again. So you did a hunchback with the hump?
Yeah. It was like, you know, Quasimodo from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. It was a celebration.
You just wore no makeup? I'm sorry.
I was gorgeous from head to toe.
But you do live in a bell tower. That's not
I do live in a bell tower.
Your drag name, Bell Tower. I'm going to prison.
Well, anyway, I thought that it's a great song for lip sync. I thought that Tina's outfit is a great outfit for lip sync. I loved that run and slide into home.
Yeah, and a safe outfit.
Yeah.
Utica wins the lip sync and Tina Burner sachets away. Do you agree that Utica won that lip sync?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't, to me the lip sync felt pretty even keeled. I didn't, like, nobody, like,
yeah.
You know, I wasn't sitting there like, oh, she's got this. Like, oh, she's messing up. You know,
I think they both served.
Do you think they flipped a coin?
I think Utica, because she was dressed spooky, I think she did a good job making the lip sync kind of creepy. I think that worked in her favor.
The rest of the season is truly going to be, I think, kind of neck and neck.
Yeah.
Photo finish.
Photo finish. Ooh, Dela, we have a top 6. Who do you think the winner's gonna be at this point if you had to pick?
Do you need me to say it?
Are you gonna say Simone?
I'm gonna say Simone. She's just, Simone embodies all the things I just love about drag. She would have to be significantly shook by something in order
to falter.
And it's hard to imagine that happening. We know these queens. The fact that
it's been 4 years.
Are so impressed by all of these girls on this season, they have proven their worth at this point. So whoever goes home next week is not gonna be forgotten.
No, we're here and we're absolute pieces of
It's true, wildly mediocre.
BenDeLaCreme, thank you so much for being here today. You are my friend, I love you very much, and you're so fun to talk to.
I love you very much. I had a blast. Thank you so much for, oh my God, is this safe? Cleanse it, sanitize it.
Sanitize it! And thank you for watching The Pit Stop. Join us next week for season 13, episode 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Goodbye. More mobility, more. Goodbye. You stayed all the way through a Drag Race commitment. How does it feel? Now she wants the $100,000.
Look over here. The Drag Race YouTube channel is always bringing amazing content, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing.